is just a spectacularly beautiful morning. Oh, I want to say it's probably 48, 50 degrees out today, this morning. Rooster's doing. Sheep are out like always. That's what they're supposed to do. But just a beautiful sunshiny morning. So today I'm out here in the pasture and it's raining. It has been for forever, it seems. I don't know how many days. It's hard to keep track of it. And as a result, I've got some solar stuff that I want to talk to you about. If you see, I have two towers here in on my solar system, each with 12 panels on each one, 3 sets of 4 on each tower. And the towers are capable of rotating manually, but right now I don't have them set up to rotate automatically, and I need to do that. You can see the one tower, that's tower number 2 behind me. In the wintertime, it's important that I be able to rotate or situate the towers towards the ambient light, the highest ambient light. And the solar panels will produce power, a good bit of power, if you have ambient light, and I do. But I wanted to show you some of the things that I ran into and the issues that I'm having, and I want some advice from you guys, because I mean, there's people out there a lot smarter than I am. I'm just Jim here in Chile trying to make things happen. So let me give you a real quick look of where I'm at in our situation, give you a little view of what it looks like here today too. I'm out here, and if you see, I got our fence still going in there, and that's coming along. Every day the sun comes out, when and if the sun comes out, we'll get 3 or 4 runs in at a time. I got a sheep over there with her baby lamb the other day, and that's doing well. I divide this pasture into 2 so that you can rotate in between the 2 in the grass. They'll eat the grass down, and then I'll put them over there, and this will grow up and they'll eat that down. Then I switch them back over here and to other places too. Sheep are real interesting. They eat very low to the ground. You can see this sheep right here is eating that grass, and sheep don't like long grass. You'll notice there's long green tasty grass right there beside her, and some brown too, but they won't eat that. They only eat what's right down there, about 1 knuckles height above the ground or less. So I have to keep that in mind with my sheep. There's a rotation that you do to animals on farms. This sheep right here, she's getting ready to have a baby soon, and that rotation is horses eat tall grass, and then cows eat little less tall grass, and sheep are the last ones. Well, sheep are next, and then pigs, and how they like to eat. So anyways, back to my solar. Right here you see this is my setup. There's a gearbox up there that is connected to my solar tower right here and I can move that crank, and that crank will rotate this tower, and it will twist with the power of the force of just 1 finger. I mean, it moves really easy. The problem I ran into is that there's just some baling wire here connected to it. Some baling wire there connected to it, and that baling wire broke. So I had to drill a hole in the end of the wire to keep it from moving. The other thing is a little tall to get up there for me. Some other issues is there's a little bit of play in this gearbox here into the chain. I'd like to get up there if you want me to, and I will, and show you what it looks like up close. So I can't do this 2 hands, it's just impossible. But here's the gearbox at the hand crank to the end of it, and I want to be able to take some of this play out. Let me see if I can get you a picture of that without falling and breaking my neck. There's play there, but you can see my hand moving the thing a little bit. There's a little play there. But if you look, let's see if I can get to focus. There you go. The gearbox doesn't move at all there when I do that play. But the tower, if I could steady the camera well enough, and I'll try here, the tower has a little wobble to it in the wind. And what I'm thinking is going to happen is there's eventually going to be a stress breakage or fracture or whatever in there to the whole system. about a week ago I came out and that wire was broke. I drilled that hole at the end of the and put a new wire on it because it would just flopping around in the wind. And I came in and the whole tower was rotated 180 degrees from what it is now. So right here is the crank that comes out of it, if it'll focus. There we go. And that crank eventually is going to be connected to a motor, and I'm hoping that the motor will be pretty simple, like a windshield wiper motor from a big dump truck, and I can hook it up to like a garage door opener motor. That would be the other option, but I'll hook it up to a switch or a timer, and basically, this is midday setting right now, but it would be over here in the morning, and then it would run for about 30 seconds and stop and be here maybe midday, and then over here late day, and then at night go all the way back to the beginning, okay, when the sun goes down. And I think I could put a timer on that would do that, and it would do it for both of them. The other one would do the same thing. And this whole array moves pretty easily. Here, I'll move back a little bit so you get a better picture of it. But that's 12 panels on the tower, and the tower is a tube on top of a tube, and with a bearing on the top and a chain around it that moves it hooked up to that gearbox. That really wasn't my design. I'd rather had a ring and pinion gear on there, but that's the way the Mennonite guy that I had designed it, my metal worker, designed it. And like many things, I didn't like it, but I didn't have the money to finish it up. And there's more important things right now, because I can manually go up there and move it. In the summertime, I got so much sun, I don't need to move my towers. I'll make 12 kW in one day sometimes. It really is cranking it out. Right now I'm getting about 3, okay? So, which is sufficient, but at nighttime if I'm running the freezers and then Lori wants to get up in the morning and run the waffle iron, and that really eats up the power pretty fast. So I have to come out and run the generator for a little bit. If we have guests over or something late in the evening, or I'm welding obviously or something like that, or God forbid she run the vacuum cleaner, and the vacuum cleaner is a real hog because it has a rheostat on it. It really eats it up. Then I'll have to run the generator. So this tower 2, and there's tower 1. They're both doing well. I don't have any complaints about them. And there's also 6 panels on top of the container there. So I want your advice. What do you think I ought to do with these towers to be able to help to get them moved? I know some people are going to say, well, Jim, just go over there to Amazon and get yourself a sun tracker. Yeah, for $1,500 I can do a system on it right now. I know for about let's say for the 2 of them I could do for probably $250 here, mechanical, not electrical. So it's a money issue too. Yeah, if money was no issue, hell, I'd have Elon Musk come down here and take care of it for me, but I don't have that. I'm just a poor guy out in the woods. Okay, now, each of these towers are independent from each other, obviously. I mean, they're on the same big system, but each of these towers can have the ability to move once I get everything set up so it will. And I can go up there and hand crank this one too right now. I have the ability to do that. But again, they're wobbling like this when they have really high winds. And we do have really high winds here, 100-mile-an-hour winds. So I have to be very cautious about that. Also, you should know that this column goes into the ground. You can see the square here. It's 3 meters by 3 meters, and it's down 3 meters, and it's 10 inches thick concrete pad, and then in the center of the pad comes out that column. So it's really ballasted. It's not going to go anywhere. And it's got so much steel in it, I should just made it all out of steel, but either way, that's not going anywhere. I'm really pleased about that, but I really would like to get them to rotate. So, I don't know, I don't even know that I have to. It's just, you know, it's there. Why not get it to do it right, you know? It's part of my game, you know, my little shtick, my solar thing. And I always wanted to do right, so.
Okay, this is one we just started the other day, which is going to end up like that one. And this is brining in the cure salt number 2, I think it is. And it's supposed to hang for 7 weeks. So, and this is about four to 5 weeks in on that one. And our ultimate goal with this is to eat it. Thanks for all the tips, Eric. We really appreciate it.
The other day, I slaughtered a hog over there and hung it under the water tower. A friend brought it over. Okay, so here's my buddy Ben. There's Ben. Say hi, Ben. And there is the hog that we slaughtered the other day. And today we're going to cut it up into tasty bits. We're curing hams, smoking bacon, the whole thing. Cats and dogs, we're talking about it. Of course, it's a beautiful day. We lucked out. Usually it's rain on us when we're doing this. Good day of ribs the other day, eating ribs up my dirty car. There's my footing still for my woodshed. I haven't come any further with that. If you notice, it's raining. It keeps raining. It's just a mud pie right now, which is the fine reason I really want to get all that wet wood into a dry building. So there's the lumber to start with. So